The whole village came to say goodbye to Gregory as he left for the city. His son decided it was better for his father to move in with him, closer to the hospital. For the past year, Gregory had been sick frequently, with high blood pressure and dizziness. The doctors examined him and advised Gregory to work less and to stop working in the garden. But the old man disagreed with him, saying the same thing. "What am I supposed to do then? Sit on the porch all the time? Then I'll die from the lack of activity. No, I know myself. I have to move." "You're so stubborn, Dad," his son scolded him. "When smart people tell you to work less, you have to listen to them. After all, you're turning 80 soon." "Listen to your son. Take a course of treatment. Stay in the city for a year, and then come back. Your house isn't going anywhere," neighbor Betty urged Gregory. Gregory agreed, grudgingly. The treatment had a positive result. His daughter-in-law helped to send Gregory to a health resort, where he had to spend almost a month. Gregory came home recovered and healthy, but very sad. "Son, I miss my home so much. I can't live in the city anymore. Take me back to the village. I promise not to get sick again," the old man said to his son. The son reluctantly agreed, but in the village, his father stopped taking the prescribed medicine, relying only on his herbal teas. In addition, he decided to mow the grass and work in the vegetable garden. Obviously, his blood pressure spiked. Betty called and asked his son to come urgently to the village. Gregory was taken to the hospital. He asked to go home again after being treated, but now his son forbade his father to come back to the village. "It's a fortune that a neighbor saw you fall on the porch. Otherwise, who would have helped you? No, don't ask to go back to the village again. I feel less anxious if you're here with us. There's enough space. Live here," his son told him. It turns out that the son had even found a buyer for the house. He talked his father into selling the house while the old man was still in the hospital. "Well, I guess my time has come. Yes, I agree," Gregory whispered sorrowfully. He signed all the papers, and the house was sold to a woman from their city. Sylvia, a retired woman, had long dreamed of a small house in the village, with a garden. She bought the house, it said fondly to a sad Gregory. "Thank you for such a well-kept house. I will cherish it, and if you get bored in the city, come here any time. I will be glad to have visitors." The invitation to visit his own house calmed him down a bit. He lived at his son's house, received treatment, visited doctors from time to time, and went to a health resort one more time. After a year, his health was better. "See, when you're taken care of, your health is okay. So now you have to listen to me, Dad," his son told him. Gregory nodded and smirked, but he couldn't get used to city life. The longing plagued him at night. He chatted with their neighbors outside during the day, watched TV at home, and on weekends, his granddaughter and great-granddaughter visited. The whole family had dinner together. It was fun. But then everyone would leave, and Gregory would go to bed, but he couldn't sleep. He couldn't forget his house, yard, his dog, Lucky, and cat, Ricky, who had been given to the new owner because there was no place for pets in the city. Gregory tossed and turned, sighed softly, and dreamed that as soon as he felt better, he would visit his village. He often thought so, almost every night. He could not get it out of his head. Finally, he told his son that he wanted to visit his neighbors in the village. "Do you want to go to your old house too?" his son asked him. "Don't do that. Let the past remain in the past. Otherwise, you'll only make it worse." "Gregory, are you unhappy at our house?" said the daughter-in-law. "Exactly. At your house. And where is my place? Eh?" You have no idea how much I miss my home," answered the old man. One Saturday morning, Gregory left a note for his son, Martin, on the table, pretended he was going for a walk, and went to the bus station. He took a ticket to his village and got on the bus. In 40 minutes, he was standing on the sidewalk that led to the village. He walked about a kilometer to his home. Everything was as before. It was as if he had never left. When he approached his house, he sat down on the bench and stroked the broad plank with his palm. It was where he always rested in the evenings. Every crack on this bench was familiar both to the eyes and to his hands. His heart pounded with joy. He could not take his eyes off the familiar windows, the porch steps, and the fence. He sat quietly for about 20 minutes. Suddenly, his cat Ricky showed up beside him. "Oh, my dear Ricky, are you alive? I'm so happy," the old man said, cradling the cat in his arms. The old dog, Lucky, howled after hearing Gregory's voice. Gregory did not dare enter his yard without asking. He stood on his tiptoes like a boy and peered over the fence, trying to pet the dog. A minute later, Sylvia came out on the porch. She looked into the visitor's face and gasped, "Gregory, is that you? Now I understand why Lucky is howling so much. Come in, don't stand behind the fence, Gregory." The old man stepped into the yard, smiled at the woman, and sat next to the dog. The dog almost knocked his owner off his feet with excitement and joy, licking his face, while Gregory stroked him, hiding his tears. "Enough. Calm down, buddy. You still remember me, my friend? And I remember you, too." Then he turned to the woman and apologized. "I'm so sorry for coming without an invitation. I couldn't help it. I couldn't sleep at night, thinking about my home. I literally ran out of the city today. I miss this village so much. I will stay here for a while, and then I will leave." "No, I won't let you go. Come inside, let's have lunch, then tea in the gazebo, and then we'll go to the garden. I will show you my tomatoes," the woman told him. He did not expect such a warm welcome. He smiled like a child, and tears rolled down his eyes. "Thank you, dear," the old man whispered. "For what?" wondered Sylvia. "For your friendliness and kindness, for affection, and also for not changing anything here. You didn't disfigure it with new renovations. Even the wallpaper is the same," the old man said, looking about. "Well, I can't afford to make any renovations. I bought a house with my last savings. Besides, the house is in great condition. It's clean and tidy. I'm fine with everything as it is," the woman said. They talked and walked around the garden. Gregory stopped by all the barns and a small bathhouse and touched everything, as if he wanted to warm the house that was cold in anticipation of its owner. It was as if he was asking forgiveness for betrayal, for leaving his home. After a walk around the territory, they sat down on the porch. "My bus is coming soon. I have to go to the city. I don't want to bother you. Thanks for everything." "As you wish, Gregory, but if you want, you can stay here. Stay as long as you want, for a week or a month. You won't bother me. I live here alone anyway. My daughter lives in the city. She doesn't come here more than once a month. It would be more fun to work together in the house. Stay," the woman persuaded him. He wept and muttered, "Well, I don't dare be a burden to you for a month, but if you let me stay here for a week, I'd be happy. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'll cook dinner and help in any way I can." He took the bus home. The next day, his son brought him back with his things and a bag of groceries. "Sylvia, you have no idea how grateful I am. You are an incredible person. Thank you for what you do for my father," Martin said. "He ran away to his native land. Apparently, he's not happy in the city at all. I guess he needs to come here once in a while. Thank you very much." Martin hugged his father, then left, telling him to call if he needed anything. The week flew by quickly. Gregory brightened up. It was as if he was younger. Sylvia wouldn't let him do any hard work, even though he wanted to. But he helped clean up the yard and the house. He also cleaned up his workshop, sharpened his axe and scythe, and fixed the window in the bathhouse. "Life is so much easier when there's a man in the house. I wouldn't let you go anywhere," the woman praised him. "I'd also fix the fence in the garden," he said with a smile, "because it's a little crooked, and I'll also ask Martin to bring some paint so I can paint the fence." When Martin arrived to pick up his father, Sylvia called him into the house while Gregory was in the barn. She persuaded Martin not to take his father into the city just yet. "Let him live here a little longer. We get along well. It hurts me to see him trying to find things to do. He really wants to be useful, you know. When he's here, he feels needed. Let him do what he wants. I promise I won't let him do any hard physical work." The son lowered his head. He hugged Sylvia and put banknotes in her robe pocket. "Martin, please don't." She tried to refuse the money. "Please, take the money. It's for you and Daddy and for sweets and goodies. You go to the store every day. I also brought you some more groceries, and please remind him to take his medicine on time," Martin asked. Gregory was walking from the barn. He saw his son and immediately felt depressed. He should have been glad that his son had arrived, but he was afraid. He was about to be taken to the city. "Hi, Daddy. Sylvia doesn't want to let you go. What do you think? Are you going to stay here, or are you going to come with me and have some rest at home?" the son asked his father. No, I'm not tired, and I take my pills on time. I can visit my neighbors here. We drink tea in the garden. I have a lot of friends here. Can I stay here?" He looked at Sylvia. "Martin, he even sleeps better at home. Everything will be fine. Don't worry," said Sylvia. Martin had tea, took a walk in the garden with his father, looked at the results of his work, hugged the old man, and left. In the evening, Sylvia and Gregory sat on the porch steps. Ricky and Lucky huddled at Gregory's feet, as if they didn't want to part with their human. The sun hid behind a huge cloud. "Look how beautiful the sunset is, Sylvia. The clouds are coming in. It means it's going to rain in the morning." "The weather's turning bad," the old man said. "Well, that's good. Then we'll stay at home. Also, it will water our garden, and we'll have a day off. It is necessary to have a rest if we want to live longer, to enjoy such beauty. After all, we live in the most wonderful village. It's a wonderful place," the woman said. "I can't live without it either. I just can't. Do you understand now? Now?